We all see on the news reports daily of domestic violence. We become desensitized and we ignore what is happening. But what happens when domestic violence becomes personal? What happens when it becomes your family member or your friend or enters into your business or even into your own personal relationship when you realize that you're not immune to abuse? My ex-fiance, Joshua Mahaffey, called me this evening around 10 p.m. He was able to tell me exactly what I was wearing to work. He says he will see me tomorrow sometime. He then called me as I went to leave work and asked me why was I leaving. He then threatened me, saying his friend would beat my mouth shut and they were going to take my baby from me. He has threatened my friend Jordan and my friend Robert, saying he would beat them within an inch of their lives. We then called the police. He has created over 20 fake Facebooks. 2 of the Facebooks have my name on them. He has harassed every friend I went to high school with trying to find me. We woke up Friday morning on July 13th, and the first thing I did that morning was look at my Facebook. Joshua Mahaffey and Joshua Scott had been stalking her through Facebook, and so it became a daily routine that we would check it. And on Josh Scott's Facebook page, he had posted a picture of a gun. So when he did that, immediately we became concerned, and I called Ashley. And Ashley woke up and she's like, "Oh, Mom, what do you want?" And she was tired and had just woke up. And I'm like, "Baby, they've got a gun. You have to be careful." And she's like, "I will be careful, Mom. You know, I only got to work today and tomorrow, and then I'm going to go into the shelter." And we had made all those arrangements. So I asked her, you know, things like, "How's the baby and how are you feeling?" And we discussed that for a while, and then I remember again telling her, "You know, baby, you have to be careful." I said, "We really need to call the police again." And she's like, "I keep calling them and they're not doing anything, Mom." And I said, "Well, let your dad do it. We'll let your dad call them this time and report this with the gun." And she said, "Okay, because I'm going to get ready for work and go to work here in about an hour and a half." And I said, "All right." Last time I heard her tell me she loved me too. And so we hung up, and immediately my husband Jim, he got on the phone and called the Marshall County Sheriff's Department and said, "Look, there is a gun on Facebook. Joshua Scott has posted this gun. That means Joshua Mahaffey has access to a gun. Why don't you do something about it?" And the answer we got was, they can't do anything about a gun on Facebook. They can't do anything about a picture. And my husband told them that was a bunch of bull, that, you know, you could go after them for probable cause. You could go down there and at least follow my daughter to work and be sure she got there safely. And we got told no, they wouldn't, even though they had heard a week ago Joshua Mahaffey on the phone to them saying he was going to kill himself and kill Ashley. So he got off the phone from that, and we talked for a little bit, and something in me just became overwhelmed. I started to shake, and I told my husband, Jim, I have to call Ashley right now. Something is wrong. So I pick up the phone, I'm trying my best to punch her number, and I'm like hitting everybody on my contact list but her and hanging up because I just was shaking so bad I couldn't dial the number. And I had to get my husband Jim to dial it for me, and the whole time I'm bawling and crying and saying something's wrong. I know in my heart something's wrong, and I have to talk to her right now. Get her on the phone right now. So I'm listening to it ring, and when it quits raining, it's John Coleman on the other line, her roommate. And he goes, "Tara, get here quick." Ashley's been shot. And Josh is shot and killed himself. And I said, what? He goes, she's been shot. Get here now. And I said, what do you mean she's been shot? I was just in shock. And then I could hear Joshua Scott in the background. And he said, don't you tell anyone I'm here or I'll kill you. John, became, audibly confused and started stuttering. And then he said, just get here. And the line went dead. And I'm screaming at my husband, Jim, they have a gun. They have a gun and they've shot her. They've shot her. So we're scurrying to get to her. And she's an hour and a half away. I'll never forget what it was like to that car ride, just in a total panic to get to her. What I found out later was through phone records that they took. We had to turn over to the DA the phone records. Ashley had been texting a friend. She was supposed to pick him up for work that day and take him into work with her. And he's texting her, when you leaving? And she's saying, I'll be there shortly. And of course there's a time. From the time that text was sent to the time I called John Coleman on the phone and he answered was only 3 minutes. And it still boggles my mind that it only took two men 3 minutes to bust in and shoot her dead. And that's what I live with. 3 minutes changed everything.